Hey, welcome to Northumberland Zoo on YouTube. My name is Maxine and I work here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And a huge thanks to everyone who watched our last video about our EAZA accreditation. We were all overwhelmed here at the zoo by all of your warm comments and like congratulatory things. Thank you so much. Like everyone here at the zoo is like super excited, and you know the team have done such a good job. So it's so nice to be able to share that with you guys. So thank you to everyone who watched that. And if you haven't seen it already, then the link is in the description. So this week's video has been kind of a long time coming. We've had a bit of an issue on the animal section. Some of you might have noticed who've been down to the zoo, down at our Serval enclosure. Something's been a little bit different. So we got a new male Serval in last year, Ikati. As a companion for Fia, who was our female. So Ikati came in from Holland, and in early April we noticed that there was something not quite right with him.
He's just been a bit off the last few days. He usually, when we come in, he'll just jump straight down and he's like quite in your face and hissy and stuff. But yeah, he's just been kind of sitting in his bed, not been going out, not wanting to go out. Most of the time what we'll do is we'll swap them round, so him and Afia will get swapped round. So one of them has the holding pen and one has the paddock. But just recently he's not been wanting to go out at all, which is not like him, especially in like decent-ish weather like it has been. No food consumption, no feces in there either. So yeah, we are a bit concerned, to be honest. I think we're probably looking at getting the vets involved because it has been a few days now. So you know, you notice immediately when there's something not right, and then yeah, once it goes on for like this kind of period, then it starts to be a little bit more serious.
So it's really difficult with animals. You can't really tell what's wrong with them. They can't tell you what's wrong with them. So what we had to do was we had to contact the vets. We darted him. After you dart an animal, it takes about 10 minutes for them to go down generally. Once you've seen no movement for a little while, you go in there with some type of object and you generally touch them around the ears and around the eyes and around the nose, really sensitive areas, which you know would cause a response from the animal normally. And then if there's no movement, then you know you're safe to grab him. To be honest with you, we were kind of expecting that he was a little bit blocked up, but we weren't really sure what to expect. Obviously the vets, we had to shave a little bit off his neck and off of his paws to get a little blood sample off of him. The vet had a really good feel around his abdomen to try and see if he could feel any obstructions or blockages in his digestion, because he hadn't passed any poo for days, but he also hadn't eaten for days. He had some really bad smelly feces out of his back end once we had him down and we were taking his temperature. Couldn't really feel anything, so then the vet got the x-ray out and they x-rayed him, and they could see that there was quite a significant obstruction in his abdomen.
There's a hell of a lot of bone in there, and it doesn't look very nice, to be honest. Like, it's quite undigested.
How far down the gut is that?
It's colon, so
Okay.
it's what I was feeling before is colon. This is the other view, so
pushing
this
right
is the
up,
last
isn't it?
bit of the colon.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't really look very nice at all. I would be thinking that really be taken to surgery, to be honest.
So we took him straight down to the vets. We didn't mess about. 4 hours later, he came out of surgery. What had happened was there was a pheasant foot. And this is something that we feed our animals every day. You know, we feed them bone, we feed them roughage. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you do with wild exotic animals, is you actually feed them all the fur, the feathers, the bone and everything, because that's what they would eat in the wild. They eat the whole thing, and it's really good. It's called roughage. It's really good for the stomach and the digestion. This was a total freak accident that happened to poor Ikati. So basically, he'd obviously chewed on the leg and the foot and the ankle of the pheasant foot, and the actual bone had splintered into these horrible spiky things. And it is mind-blowing how far it managed to get through his digestive system and had blocked everything up, and it actually pierced through his intestine, was sticking out. I mean, just insane. So obviously the vets had to cut into 2 different areas to obviously remove all of this material, obviously remove the bone in question and sew it back up in 2 areas. And any vet will tell you how risky of an operation this is, to be operating on that kind of area of the intestines and digestive system. That generally what happens is where they actually put the stitches in, it starts to break down, and obviously breaks down, and then that's it. It's it's game over. So we were kind of given like first of all, we were given like 5 days, you know what I mean, to see how he is after 5 days. So, we're all just like sat there watching him every day, worrying about him. And then it was kind of like, 2 weeks, if we can get through 2 weeks, then we're probably good. And here we are 4 weeks down the line. So almost 5 weeks, and Ikati is still with us, which is great, because that means that obviously the internal surgeries have healed, which is awesome. And of course, the difficulty for us now is that we're like uber paranoid. So obviously, because he's been ill and he had surgery in early April, now we're like super hypersensitive and focusing on all the little details of his behaviors, when it might have just been that's normally him in this weather. He might not want to eat as much, and but obviously it's because we're like worried about him.
We want him to be kind of as close to wild as possible, so feeding him stuff like pheasant with the bones in, and not just feeding him soft meats like he would have got as a pet. We want to basically give him like carcasses.
Now, what does this mean? Does this mean that we're going to take all the pheasant and all of the bone out of his diet? No, that doesn't mean that at all. That's what he should be eating. It's just what we're going to do now, because of this risk, is we're definitely going to just take time now to make sure that he's healed properly before we give him any of that stuff again. And obviously we want to make sure he's 100% before we give him access back and start mixing them again. So how's Afia been during this whole kind of sickness?
Her demeanour's actually changed quite a lot, to be honest. So before he got ill, when we would put them together, she would not really want anything to do with him. She'd kind of hiss at him and try and stay away from him, really. She was getting better, but yeah, she wasn't keen on him at all. Ever since he's not been around, she's been kind of going towards the fence line where he would usually be. Just seems like she's kind of pining after him, really. Especially with the change in the weather as well. She seems like she's in a much nicer mood overall. So it has been a little bit annoying that we've not been able to mix them while she's kind of been in this mood. But at the same time, maybe she needed this to like change her opinion of him. So the whole reason why we don't want to mix them just now, even though he's starting to recover and stuff, is we're kind of just weaning him back onto full feed. And most of the cats, well, pretty much all of the cats really, when we feed them pheasant, they leave the feet. Ikati, obviously not, decided to swallow one whole. So what we don't want to do is miss anything on the paddock and mix them, and then him come out and eat one again. So obviously it's really important that we do start to mix them again, but we want to make sure that he's fully recovered first. So we're just building back up to that normal diet. So at the minute he's just on things like chicken breast, chicken thighs, and we've just started reintroducing him to chicks as well. So yeah, we're going to build back up to it, but it'll probably be a while before we can mix them again. So he's offshore. He's just in the house and also the run. So you might be able to see him if you're at the bottom of the paddock. To be honest, when it's sunny, Afia's always at the bottom of the paddock where the long grass is. So the best way to see her is to come down in between Tapia and Serval, as if you're heading towards the Cappy house, and you'll see her. And then if you're lucky, if he's out, you'll be able to see him in the back. So yeah, he's got the holding pen. So they are still sharing a fence line, which is obviously good because we don't want her to completely forget about him. But a lot of the time he is just inside, because from time to time he is still feeling a bit sorry for himself.
So it's been a really, really stressful month, actually, 5 weeks, worrying about him and hoping that he's going to be okay. It's never nice, to lose an animal, but it's especially never nice to lose an animal straight after gaining an animal. So, it's just a freak accident. Like, you just can't make it up. And it is a miracle that he survived it. Miracle. So obviously, if you haven't seen him at the zoo for a little while, he's the big Serval, then that, you know why now. He's been off show at the back here. But he has been enjoying the sun still, and obviously Afia keeps going over to say hello to him. But once again, this highlights, the kind of issue with the pet trade and the kind of after effects on animals that it can have. Because he wasn't reared properly, he didn't eat his food properly like his mom would have taught him to eat it, and obviously he went and nearly killed himself. So it's always a stress. You just never know what's going to happen at the zoo. Anyways, I hope that you found that update interesting and useful. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't done already, please do remember to like this video and subscribe to the Northumberland Zoo YouTube channel, and we shall see you next time.